Hello, and thank you so much for being here. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and I'm going to do a reading entitled What's Special About Your Connection. I have 4 pictures of beautiful clouds, lots of pink, and they're entitled Float, Energy, Clarity, and Chill. So for Float, I had debated between calling this Coast or Float, but I went with Float. So we will see why you picked Float. Just get a feeling for your relationship, what's going on with you guys, and what's so great about it, because I do get the impression that it's pretty solid. Well, we'll see, actually. Sorry, it's not funny. Okay, let me just get a snapshot of you. I like to get that first. So let me see a little bit about who you are. Okay, we've got 2 majors, the Chariot, the Emperor, and the Ten of Cups. I think you are somewhat idealistic, not in a bad way. I think you definitely know what you want, and I think a relationship is something that appeals to you. I think that I wouldn't be surprised at the idea of marriage, raising a family, just living in a home together, making a home. If that appeals to you, and if it does, that's great. It's a lovely thing, and it's a great thing to appeal to anyone. But I just think with that and the Emperor, I do feel like you're structured, and there's a part of you that I think follows like a set of rules, and it's kind of like the roadmap for your life. And when it comes to your relationship or your connection, I think you're sort of quite methodical about how you handle things and how you go about the course of your relationship. And then to that point, we've got the Chariot, which really is it's a driving force. It's a pusher. There's a sense of momentum there. And I do think that you are the Chariot. I think you're probably a strong communicator, I think you're probably a great communicator, because an Emperor is a great communicator, if not bossy, over assertive, and domineering at times. They're still a good communicator, and they're really wonderful when they strike a balance with someone. So if you are dating someone who gives you that balance, whether they're male or female, if they have a bit of an Empress energy, that could be a really beautiful thing. But if this is a snapshot of you and we're talking about relationships, you know what you want. You may even be under a bit of a time crunch if having a family is something that you want to get started on, or maybe you really had an idea of things, happening at a certain time, and maybe they're not happening. But yes, I just think that you have more of an agenda than, let's say, the average, person who's dating. So we're going to get into, I just want one line about your partner and who you're inquiring about, because you guys do have a connection, and we are going to talk about what's special about it. I'm not doing upside downs. So if this is your partner, 3 of Cups, the Lovers, the Tower, asking about what's special about your connection, getting a little bit of an idea of who they are. I think they're a lot like you in a lot of ways, as far as being somewhat idealistic. Maybe they tend to love as well. I think you love more of the structure and the idea of love. I think you're more into like the not the constraint, the shape everything takes when it's going smoothly, or the way your relationship looks and feels and probably is. Whereas your partner, I think, is a little more, they're softer. They adhere more to the softer and sweeter points of being in a relationship, like the sensitive and the loving and the, cuddling and the sweetness, whereas you are, I think, a little more militant about things. But that's fine, because you still want the family, you still have the ideals. I don't know, up here I just feel like maybe you're an attorney, or that's one example, which I cannot think of another one, but something that's extreme, but something along those lines where you probably are someone who's very good at an argument, at getting people to do what you want. You're persuasive, you're smart, you're probably a kind and good person as well. So you tend to probably get your way with a good argument. And so your partner, I think they're a lot softer. They're a lot, I think, more gentle. They may be the ones, if you're hanging out with friends, they might be your partner's friends. And I actually think your partner might be, I don't want to say emotionally unstable, but I feel like they are almost your opposite in this way. If you're the emperor and they're the lovers, this is very sweet, but it's also, I mean, there's a bit of balance there, but I just think that the person you're inquiring about is, I think you guys have a very much opposites attract situation. And I think these opposite energies that you bring probably, I'm thinking they go together quite nicely and maybe kind of keep you guys afloat. Whereas, yeah, like this is really the dynamic that both of you need. The Tower in this line, and whether or not it perfectly adheres to the rules of tarot, this is where I see your partner being, I'm going to say someone unstable emotionally, or just slightly, I don't really see so much of a temper, but I think they would be the one that could maybe have fits of jealousy or a little more rage around wanting the relationship to be a certain way, although you want it a certain way yourself. If anyone wants a relationship a certain way, I think that's you. I just think this person might want more from you. And if they don't get everything they want from you, then that can turn into a little frustration or sadness or, drama on their part. But I think you guys are doing very well. Let's get a snapshot of your actual relationship and see. Oh, my candle's struggling. I've been struggling with this whole candle thing. It's hard not to relight it right now, but I will just let it go. I will let it go. Okay, let's get your relationship here. Get that perfect. Okay, so we have a bunch of cups. Sorry, this is the 8 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. I mean, this is actually a heavy energy, and you can't tell by these cards, which is something I kind of equal parts love and hate about them. Yes, these are just cups and some Roman numerals, but the 8 of Cups is actually, there's a bit of a, there's a moving on theme to that. There's a little bit of sadness there. There's, yeah, and we can call it like an evolution, because I do think things, I mean, okay, so this line, if we're getting a snapshot about your relationship, and then if we take in the 5 of Cups, this is also a loss card. So I would say in your relationship, as a couple, you've experienced a loss. You've definitely experienced a sadness, and I don't know what it is. You could have lost anything from like a home to someone you loved to, I don't know, a certain amount of income, a job. I don't know the level of, but I connect this with more emotion than, well, this is the King of Pentacles, so this is less emotion, more monetary. But yeah, there's, I think you've suffered a loss, whether it was something you guys suffered together, or maybe one of you had an unfortunate occurrence, and now, of course, as a couple that is strong, it shapes you guys as a couple. But if I take these cards at face value and I ask for a snapshot of your relationship, there's definitely an element of struggle or pain, and I don't think it has anything to do with the two of you. I think it was an outside influence or not influence, I think something happened not with one of you necessarily, but I don't know, but that could also be the case. But there's been a loss, and it's been hard on you, and I think you guys both have almost had to say, like, we're going to have to leave this behind. We have to move on from this. If we're going to make it as a couple, we really are going to have to, just move forward. And with that, there is a King of Pentacles energy to that. The King of Pentacles is a very much no-nonsense person. I mean, all the kings are serious. They're kings. They're the, apex of the suits of what all the good, bad, and otherwise. But the King of Pentacles is, he's someone you're gonna go to for security. This is someone who, his home, his family, this is everything to them. And with that, job and finances, but probably because at the end of the day, the job and finances support the home and family. This is definitely someone where, if this was a woman, this would be the epitome of like the mama bear who works hard, supports her family, makes her home a home, and just keeps everyone in checks and balances, and nothing goes wrong, because it's just very important that nothing ever goes wrong. And I think for the King of Pentacles energy, whether that's you or your partner, this has probably been a hard thing on you, mainly because there's a lot of emotion here. And I think you are more the King of Pentacles, because the Emperor could so also be the King of Pentacles. It 100% tracks. Whereas nothing. But these are definitely very emotionally charged cards, and you're dealing with a lot of emotion. And I don't know, I think you're probably handling it well. We'll get an idea in this next line of how you guys are handling it. But it's going to be hard on the King of Pentacles. It's been a trying, however long this has been, month, year, we'll see. But let's see how you guys are doing right now. If this is whatever you've gone through, let's see how you guys are. How are you doing? Okay, so 10 of Wands, 5 of Wands. We're seeing some 5s and 10s. And then the 3 of Pentacles. So the 10 of Wands is a card that is, wands. I always look at a sword and say a wand and vice versa. But I actually did say the right thing. 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is, to me, it's burden. But it's burden like it's a physical burden. Like you've been acting out something, reacting to something, and it's just kind of taken a toll. It's definitely, there's been a weight to it. It's taken something from you, really physically more than mentally. But yes, there's been something that you guys have been dealing with. And the 5 of Wands also isn't a, I mean, not to be like these aren't great cards. I don't mean that. The 5 of Wands it's a card. It doesn't imply like heavy fighting or massive disagreement. It's just a card to say like there's a little struggle, like quarreling is kind of the word I would give to it. Like minor conflict, but enough that it can definitely, I think, chip away at a veneer of something we're great. And then the 5 of Wands kept presenting itself. You would realize like, look, we're bickering a lot more than we ever used to. And these little bickerments are turning into arguments, and then that's starting to impact us. But yeah, I think there's something heavy you went through. It's caused stress. It's caused you guys to either go out more to try to like offset it. Maybe you've been trying to do something differently, whether it's like throw yourself into work or throw yourself into like a project or a hobby or a sport. But I get the impression that doing that just has created more stress. Like it hasn't been relaxing to go out and try to work or function in this way. I think, and I do actually think to that point that one of you has put more of an effort into work. Like that's been your scapegoat. And I actually think that has maybe caused a little bit of conflict, because I have a feeling things aren't getting resolved, or they're just not being addressed, because whatever happened here is still, it's here. It probably needs to be talked about, but one person maybe like leaving and not addressing something is not ideal. And I just realized like this is what's special about your connection. And I feel like my readings are always, I don't want to say they're always dark, but I don't know why that is. And it's not that I hate it, it's just they're the cards, but they always bring a message like it turns out in the end to be quite nice. They almost always have very happy endings, but I tend to go through this like hashing, like bringing like this undercurrent of ick and then getting to the top surface. Like there's a little more light at the top. But we're going to get to why you picked float and why your connection's special. I mean, it's a beautiful card. We're getting there. But if I have a snapshot and I see you guys, then this is what I see where you're at. But okay, let's start lightening things up. Okay, we're gonna go to the left and lighten things up. And I'm gonna ask, why did you pick float? That's just a straightforward question. Why are you here and why did you pick float? Well, why did you pick float? It's really, okay. And so when I see this, I think, oh yeah, this is more like it. We've got some real emotion here. We've got a sense of like fulfillment and happiness. We've got something that is almost like a dreamland, although you could get it too good to be true, but I'm going to go with a positive version for this because this is why did you pick float? And then with justice, yes, it's the harmony, it's the balance. And this goes back to where I said, if you're the emperor and they're the lovers, then there is a balance. And there truly is, I think, a very beautiful harmony between you guys. And whatever you went through, it could have come about. I don't know what it is, but I guess what I was going to say is it can be a very, very, very sad thing, whatever happened, but it's a part of your story. It's something you've been through together. I hope you find a way to overcome it or offset it or redo it or whatever it was that happened. But I don't think it's not going to affect you guys. If you don't want it to, it won't. I'm just saying that's what I see. But now, why'd you pick float? I think you guys have a magic, and this might be something that even you talk about or but I really do think, and your partner probably knows that there's a power you guys have as a couple. And I feel like maybe it's something you haven't experienced in another relationship, something you kind of have always wanted to feel. But I think it's this sense of like, and I use the word magic, like you guys really, really click. You really get each other. You really feel each other. You sincerely do balance. And I'm going to say the word harmonize. You really work together. And I think that your sharp edges, your tone at times, your delivery, your lack of sensitivity, whatever it is, I think that your partner is just, they take it in stride. And even if they do get over emotional about things, you are there to just bring balance. And yeah, like their blurred soft edges and your harsh edges, like everything just comes together perfectly. And I love the Nine of Cups. It's a very, very pretty card. It's fulfilling. It just makes me think that like you've got you guys kind of have wishes coming true. Like, and back to the magic, if I look at it like this, I think together that my cat's playing under the table. There's like a love conquers all sense, and if you want to look at it like that you guys as a couple, through your bond, your connection, your unique ability to just see each other, you make anything happen. You can make a family happen. You can overcome pain and loss together. You've just got it. You can up and leave and move to another state together. You can start new careers. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you want to take on, you guys can do. And with this card, there are some other meanings to this card, but if I work those into a positive explanation, I would say that whatever bad is thrown at you, whatever temptations, whatever presence that is less than ideal, you guys are going to get through it. And yeah, it's like together you guys almost manifest something. Together you create this sense of like, if we really want it, we know we can go after it, or we know we'll get it. I don't know if you talk about things in a certain way together, if you're constantly sharing like your dreams and your ideals, but whatever you're doing, it really is helping you guys just overcome any situation. And I don't know, just really rise as a couple. And you probably see it when you hang out with other couples. You're like, we're different than them. I don't know if every couple thinks that, but I think that, I'm not saying you guys like brag about it, but to yourselves, I just think there's a sense of like, I'm really glad we're who we are. And yeah, and there's just a balance there, and it works and it's sweet. And if I think of float, I just think like you're rising above it. If there's riffraff or nonsense or noise or things get too colorful, like you guys are just, you're literally like, I don't know, you're just the cream that's floating to the top. Like you really are, you've got this. And there's a real simplicity, I think, to how you guys function and work and how you communicate and what you kind of tolerate from the other, but in a way that it doesn't feel like you're actually tolerating it. It just feels like you guys are just gelling and doing your thing. So I hope that this makes sense and it feels good, because I know I got off to a heavier start than I intended to, but I really, yeah, I think you're good. I'm gonna get some oracle cards here. I don't think you're good. I know you're good. It's not what I think at all. And these cards with spirit, there's a story here. There's a struggle emotionally. There was something that hurt you guys and you dealt with it, and you went through possibly a rough patch here, I'm seeing. But you've reined it back in, and you guys are just rising together. So that's your connection. I think you're two people who really, really found your partner, your counterpart, the person that really does complete you. And I mean, if you're as happy as I think you are when I'm in this reading, I think it's great. And I'm not just saying that to be nice and make the reading nice. There's a sense here. I mean, seeing the lover stacked over, or the emperor stacked over the lover, and just seeing some of these really beautiful scattered cards, I just feel like, yeah, I mean, you're here because your connection's special, but I would say it's more than special. It has like a mystical, true beauty to it. And I don't know what it would take for you guys to find that with someone else. It's just that feeling that like if you were with someone else, you'd always compare it to this, because it's you guys. And I think you guys have been together a while. I don't get the impression that this is a new partnership, but if it is, then you are particularly kicking ass and you've been through a lot. We'll get 2 cards for Spirit. I want Spirit to tell you guys just something beautiful that she loves about your connection, and that she just wants you guys to hold on to. And I'm going to have her give you a good luck charm. So this is something she loves, and a good luck charm. 2 cards I haven't seen before. So find your sacred flow. I think this is Spirit just saying you guys work together. You really are, truly, there is a synchronicity to you guys, and you flow, you ebb and you flow, you gel, it's just important that you guys, maybe it's something that always takes a little fine tuning, but you're up for it. You do it. This is what you guys do as a couple. And if you are a little bit off right now, or you're still kind of reeling from, or course correcting from this here, then just get back to your flow, find it, because you've got it. And this, I mean, this Justice card here tells me that you guys walk this tightrope, but not in like an edgy, tense way, but like it's just this, it's like a dance, but it's so I don't know, there's just it's a very concise path, I guess is what I'm saying. And I just feel like you guys are on it, and you're good. And oh my goodness, I asked for a good luck charm, and then what was or no, this is the good luck charm. This is like what she loves about your connection, and a good luck charm. And this is the good kind. And I think really here, her little charm of luck to you is basically saying like, you guys have what other people want. Like your little charm of good luck is just that reminder, that memory that what you guys have is special, and it is the good kind of love. You have the good kind of relationship, the good kind of connection. Like, you are on the right side of things and it works. And as far as float, I just see you guys like you really are on top of the clouds. Even if this is about your connection. It's not about like what is going on. It's about your connection and what holds you guys together and what bonds you. And I think it's a very, very deep connection. Yeah, and I do start to say words over and over again in the end when I think enough has been said. But I hope enough has been said about this. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it gives you a little bit of just clarity and help and a reminder, really, that that you have something very, very special, and getting through this and this, you're doing it. You're almost there, or you're like exactly there, and good things are on the horizon because of who you guys are as individuals, but as a couple, who you are as a couple and a team. So yes, thank you so much for watching this. Good night, good afternoon, but really, thank you very much. Bye. Hello, thank you so much for being here. This is Light and Bone Tarot. I am doing a reading for what's special about your connection, and you picked energy, one of the beautiful cloud pictures we got up here. And oh, I forgot to light this, and I don't have matches. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that my candle's not lit, which is a bummer because it really does bring something to the reading. This is like the second time it's gone out during a reading, which is funny because it didn't for so many readings, and now it does. Okay, let's get into it. I'm just gonna I like getting an idea of who you and your partner that you're inquiring about are. That just really helps me like get a spreadsheet for your connection in your relationship. So I just like to know, like, who are you? I just want to see who you are in this relationship. I love the Devil card, so don't be afraid of that at all. I think it's a great card. Okay. I think you're pretty resourceful. I think you are ever so slightly a homebody. I think you probably love the outdoors. I think you work hard. And I think that you are I think you're a hard worker. Someone who puts the time in and reaps the rewards. I think that's sort of you in a nutshell. Whether it be living where you want to live, studying what you want to study, working how you want to work, saving enough money to get what you want to get. I think you're very by the book in a lot of ways, and it suits you. That's you. The Queen of Pentacles is such a there's such a, how do I say this? She's equal parts creative and earthy. There's an abundance there, but there's also a bit of emotion there too. I think it's also someone who likes to care for things. It's sort of that earth, almost like earth mother quality that I get out of the Queen of Pentacles. And then when I pair it with the Eight of Pentacles, it's like that, just really investing in yourself, your home, your family. There's a sense of just growth and like family investments. But then when we see the Devil, I'm trying to think how this fits in, because it doesn't mean that you're these things and then you're also the Devil. It just, I don't know, maybe you do have I don't know, maybe you are a little, maybe there's a fire, there's probably a fire to you. You're probably a little fiery. And then if I think that you picked energy, that could track. There could be something about you that is, maybe you're a little feisty, and maybe too feisty. Maybe you do have a temper that can get away with you. That wouldn't surprise me looking at this card. I mean, I do. I definitely would not at all be surprised if the Devil got pulled up for one of my readings, because I have that very sweet, very earthy. I think I could absolutely be the Queen of Pentacles. I would love to be. And yet, yeah. So I get this personality type here. It's just there's a there's a little bit of a struggle, but yes, you work hard, you're good, and you're probably a very fun and wonderful person to be in a relationship with when when you're happy and when things are actually working out and going your way. Okay, let's get an idea of who your partner that you're reading for is. Excuse me. Okay, so I would say that your partner is probably someone who's very, I do think they are somewhat idealistic, someone somewhat stern. I mean, the Queen of Cups is a wonderfully emotional, kind of also very nurturing energy. So I like these, I love that one of you is the Queen of Pentacles and one of you is the Queen of Cups. And I love to see if it's a female who's the Queen of Pentacles and the male who's the Queen of Cups, or the person who brings the masculine energy. I really like that, because to me, a man who's the Queen of Cups, it's not an over the top outpouring of emotion. There's also a very like caring, nurturing, loving aspect to it. Someone who I think is a great communicator, who enjoys talking, probably so much that they can probably talk themselves into certain dilemmas, or they might say too much at times, show too much emotion, be too vulnerable. There's a little bit of all that. So for seeing the Two of Swords, I think this person might be indecisive. And maybe when I see the World card, if I tie that in, they might be starting in like someone who's always starting and finishing things, or starting things, maybe not finishing them as much as they start things. But I think someone who really, really enjoys change. Let me put it that way. Whereas I don't think you enjoy the change quite as much, but I do think that your partner does. I think they're a little more emotional. I think they enjoy change. And I think whereas you are more feisty and direct, this person probably is more like questioning and almost insecure. And I do believe that you can really kind of overpower them at times. But again, it's probably not a bad thing, because they might need a little structure, a little monitoring at times. They might need someone to almost like put them back on track, and you would absolutely do that for this person, and they're not going to mind, because someone who does have the potential to be so in their feels, and yet so indecisive, can really appreciate more of an opposite and a counterpart. So I get that, because I get both sides of these coins. I absolutely understand it. But I do think that your partner is someone who can be a little flippant, a little, I don't want to say insincere, but fickle, maybe. Maybe there's a fickleness to them. Not necessarily directed at you. That's not the feeling I'm getting, but I just think that they're a little bit more, they just need a little more structure. And I keep coming back to the word monitoring, because you're not monitoring your partner. I mean, some relationships are like that, but I do feel like you are the one that's always like, hey, like, enough of that. Like, let's get back to this. Like, please, are you to what end? How long are you going to work on that? How long are you just started something else. I don't know. Just like a little bit of mothering maybe, but it's okay, because they allow you the luxury of speaking your mind whenever you want, being a little too bitchy at times, maybe boasting about how you aren't as fickle and you accomplish more as a result of it. You probably do, at the end of the day, get more done and have a lot more structure to your life, whereas this person definitely lacks that. It doesn't mean they aren't successful and accomplished, but they just have a very different way of reaching that end goal. And already, if you picked energy, I do think there's a tremendous energy between you guys. Because like I said, I love to see the devil. And then if I'm getting this snapshot of your partner, it always makes for this kind of like fun and beautiful, excuse me, friction. But it's definitely there. It would be impossible to ignore it. And that that creates an energy. Let's get 3 more cards to kind of look at your actual relationship and see what's happening there. And so Judgment, King of Cups, and the Tower. If I'm going to take a relationship, and I'm going to stick with the theme of, what's special. I don't think you're here because you think there's this like pending doom. I think you're here because you have something great, and maybe you just want to like understand it a little better. But this is, so I'm going to stick with that because, Tower and Judgment in a reading could get intense, but we're not taking it there. That's not the point. And I think, sorry, I'm just going to move these up. I know this is obnoxious. I always drag down this bottom line. I have to stop doing that. Okay. What's like your guys' relationship? So for the King of Cups to come up, I'm going to say you guys, and I don't even know why I say this because the King of Cups is a very emotionally self-controlled person, which I'm trying to think. I think your relationship, I think it's tumultuous in a way, okay? But not in a bad way. I think it has this like dichotomy of chaos and craziness. I think you have some fights, but I think you both enjoy that, and that's how you communicate, and that's how you get things out, and that's how you come full circle. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do think there is quite literally that spark, that energy. And given all that, I don't think that there's anything bad about that form of communication for you guys. I still think that I don't think you're going overboard, hurting each other with your words. I feel like there's still this emotional stability to your connection that is probably delicate. And you both probably wonder at times how you don't just cross the line and, do something or say something like unforgivable, but you don't. You really, know each other well enough that you know how to keep your own emotions in check. And I think it's like that energy to me is in that like that crackling, that static energy, that like tension, I guess is what I'm saying. It's like there's that tension, but that beautiful tension that holds like a surface, something that you guys can actually navigate or walk on. And it makes me think that although you have a very, very fiery way of communicating when it comes down to it, it works for you guys. And I do think that you push each other in a very unique way to be better people. And I think these fights that you have, you realize that in these fights, so much good actually comes out of them. So much communication, so much love, so much emotion, so much that, you just help, you grow through this method of communicating. And it is an energy. It is not for everyone. I feel like I've been in a relationship like this, and I can look back and say that kind of communication is so unique and so special, and you don't find it with everyone, because so many people that you have these kind of blowouts and fights with, most of the time people take it so personally and they get so hurt they can't recover from the argument. Whereas you two, you recover. I mean, you might, ever so slightly cross the line, and it might take a few hours or a lot of talking, but you always come back because you never want to really hurt the other. You just, you have this way of just working together. And I like it. We're going to get a little bit more into this energy. So what's a beautiful thing about your guys' connection? What's really unique and beautiful about it? Knight of Cups, King of Swords, Knight of Cups, and the Sun. So the Sun to me is always beautiful. This is like it's a warmth, it's an energy, it's an adornment. The Sun it's a life-giving force, and it is 100% energy. So this would tell me that like this instills in me the message that yes, there is a very intense energy that you guys have together. And the King of Swords, I mean, to bring this energy a little bit, to understand it a little bit more, the King of Swords is, I see them as although they're stern, they're known to be honest, truthful, sharp and astute, but very, very kind of like specific and controlled. And maybe this is why you don't cross the line with these arguments or these fights. And maybe you think of like past couples and you're like, oh my gosh, if I fought like this with so-and-so, or if this was how we communicated, it would have been, I mean, who knows how all the horrible things that would have happened or we would have said. But because you have that King of Swords energy in your relationship, you're not hurting each other. You're not taking this tension, this beautiful tension that you guys have to the next level. And yeah, you're doing it. And the Knight of Cups, I mean, this is, I see the Knight of Cups. There's passion here to me. There's definitely a romantic aspect to this card. So yes, I think you have, as a couple, you have a tremendous amount of passion. This is a very, very fun connection that you have. And it is probably very physical. I think it's also very like intense emotionally. And yes, the physical aspect it's huge. And as long as you keep all this wonderful chaos, quite frankly, and balance, I think you're going to hold on to this sun vibe, this sun energy coming at you, because it is really, it's unique. Like, I want to be in this relationship. I want to be this person. I wouldn't even mind dating this person necessarily, because I think they're very creative and passionate. And I like that. There's kind of this like artistry. I think they just have a highly creative point to them, whereas you might, but that's not your forte. You're probably more, you're doing something more analytical than, I think, passionate, but it works for you. And your creative side, your energy comes out with, when you get to be like roused, like get your feathers ruffled and just enjoy life. And you do enjoy life. You're fiery and I feel like I understand you very well. And I get your guys' dynamic too. And yes, the word to put with it is energy. So, I mean, stick with that, because I think it's a lot of fun. Let's get, I mean, this was what's beautiful about your guys' connection. I don't feel like there's a whole lot more to say, because it is really special. But let's get some oracle cards, because these are fun. When it's funny, like with tarot, I almost get to a point when I feel like a message has been communicated so well, where I don't want to say I don't want to like tempt fate, but I don't want to turn over a card that I'm stumped on and it has nothing to do with the rest of this. And then I just feel like there's a good place to stop sometimes, because you guys are great. Okay. Let's get from Spirit. I'm going to take 3 oracle cards, because these have more of like a message. So I'm going to do good. Okay. We're going to ask Spirit 3 good things about your past, your present, and your future. So, let's do your past, your present, and your future for kind of, these are like good luck charms from Spirit, almost like things that she really likes about what you guys have. And so from your past, fall in love with your own story. And maybe this is because I do feel like you guys have a very, and I've said this a lot today, but it is like an opposites attract vibe. You are different people. You do work differently. I think outside in the real world, when you're not working as a couple, I think you look, act, feel, communicate, walk, talk very differently. And I think that really kind of, it was such an interesting dynamic, because you felt when you were together that you were on point, but you probably really recognized like, oh my God, we're such opposites. Like, I can't believe I'm with someone that does that or thinks that way. And I think in the beginning, it really was fall in love with your own story. Like, it's like you just knew, hey, if this is going to work, we have to really like laugh about and embrace how different we actually are. And to somehow turn that into us being this power, this very powerful couple that is just getting to know each other so well and navigating your relationship very, very well. And you might always be this fiery, energetic passion, and it'll probably calm down a little bit because maybe this, I don't know, maybe this level of communication and intensity will become like taxing. Maybe you'll have to put your energy towards other things, but that'll just be, that'll just be another like evolution in your relationship. And I think you guys will be just fine with it. And I do, like I said, I do think your partner really, really enjoys change. So I think there's that piece that makes me think like, yeah, if you can roll with change, which I don't think is your jam necessarily, you'll have each other to work through those kinks. Okay, present, something Spirit just really loves about you is cozy up with risk. And I'm trying to think, because I don't think you're so much of a risk taker as the person you're inquiring about, your partner is. But I do think that together you're pushing each other constantly, and there might be things that just don't come up in this reading that you guys have been working on together and pushing each other to do or achieve or work on as a couple. And yeah, I think there's an element of like just leaving your comfort zone. That's something that you guys are doing, and it is that energy, it is that fire, it is that I don't know, there's just something when you're with someone that you can almost like constantly be in that new things, new beginnings, new everything's this new journey, and you push your boundaries together. That is incredibly exciting. So that's what I get out of this cozy up with risk. That's your current and very exciting state. And then for future, we have Spirit, what she really loves about your guys' future connection, and it's create alchemy. And maybe what I can get for this is maybe she's saying like, because alchemy, there's oh my gosh, I'm good now that it's basically the elements and how they react with each other, if I understand this correctly. And with alchemy, I think I think it's like the five base core elements. It's, I believe it's like sulfur, water, air, fire, I want to say mercury. It might be those, I might be missing one, or I've added one, I'm not sure, but it's something along those. And apparently like most everything can be made from, these bases or these concepts okay, I'm done explaining it. But maybe what she's mean when she says create alchemy is maybe for your future, it can't always be fire, like it can't always be, you're going to have to look into like, find your water, find your emotional balance, find the air quality, like work your minds together, work on bring in the other elements, because at a point, and I think I said that earlier too, it's going to be hard to always be this fiery couple, to maintain that energy, because it is like that static. And when I say static, I think of like, it's like, it makes like a cover, and you can like, you've got this, like the floor now is static. You can walk on it and there's a tension. But if that's a delicate balance, and you don't want to mess with that too much, you don't want to push it, because then something's going to break, something's going to fall through. There's going to be like a pop and a bang. And like, I'm thinking of like static energy when I say that, like, it's just like that fizzle, and you don't want that. So I think this is really Spirit's way of saying like, everything I just said, I don't need to repeat it again. You got it. But yes, I'm excited for you guys as a couple. I think you're having the time of your life. I think you're growing so much together, and I think you are just a lot of fun. I would love to sit next to you guys at the bar and have a drink. Like you're that couple. And you would probably be arguing half the time at the bar with this drink, and one of you would be telling me about it, and I'd be like, I can't believe they did that. Like, what a bitch. And then you'd be like, well, you know what? I know you guys. I know you guys as a couple through having friends that are just like you, through being you guys, or through quite literally sitting next to one of you. And I really enjoy that energy. It is very positive and very fun. So embrace it. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to this reading. If any of it meant anything, or if you enjoyed it, then a like or a comment would be greatly appreciated if it feels good to you. So thank you so much. Have a great night or great day. Bye. Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot, and we are reading for what's special about your connection. We are going to do clarity, and yeah, another just beautiful cloud picture. This one, yeah, just had great vibes. I love it. It's very, very beautiful. Yeah, we'll see. And obviously, you have a special connection. I mean, you're here because you know there's something really great and positive about your relationship, and hopefully I can help shed some light, or at least reconfirm or confirm for you what is so great about it, because actually you probably already know, or you have a feeling. So yeah, it's always fun. Let me get an idea of who you are. That is one of my favorite things to do first. So let's see who you are. Okay. So, I mean, whenever I see a king card, I smile, because it's such a strong message, and it's, yeah, I think it's always a very, very positive thing. There's an intensity to it that I always find refreshing and exciting, and yeah, just very, you know who you are if you're a king. And the King of Wands is, they're not only are they creative, but they're doers. I'm sure they're also thinkers. I'm sure they're also emotional, but they're doers. They're getting things done. They know, they're very self-assured, and part of that to me is, if you're a doer, you know what you want. You have clear thought if you have concise action, or vice versa. Like, you're not, if you're someone who's getting things done and there's a lot of action in your life, then other parts of your life are probably falling into place. Whereas like with them, like if you were the King of Swords, you could maybe be, emotionally one way or the other, stunted, or like, my point is that for me, the King of Wands is someone who really gets things done. They have a vision, they're in command of all their faculty, and things are happening for them. And there's just that fire and that passion to boot, which I find really cool. Strength is a card I don't see a whole lot of, and I like it. It's a courage. It's like a gentle control. It makes me think of someone who can, like, if there's a euphemism for manipulate, but like actually be a good thing, not just a euphemism. That's what strength is. I think you're very good at like bending people to your way or the right way. There's just a sense of, there's a nice, and people they like this in someone. They like someone who can kind of, a lot of people like that, just to help show them the way, like a dog needs a leader, so yeah, I think a lot of people like that. And Five of Cups, a little bit much, but we don't know what you lost, what you're thinking about, what you're sad over, but maybe there's an element of grieving the loss of something, and it could be anything from like, oh, I hate saying a pet, but I don't know, that came to my mind just now, but it could be something like that, or it could be, a job or a friend or a favorite blanket, like something that just, either way, it struck a chord with you, and it just sits with you, whatever it is. And it could be something that you've just been feeling today, to be quite honest, but it just, I don't know, it leaves you with a little bit of a lost feeling, but it probably is something heavier. But yeah, you're strong, you're fierce, I think you're very confident, I think you're very self-assured, and I think you're a very likable person. Yeah. Okay, let's see who you're here inquiring about. Who's your person that you have a special connection with? Let's get a little bit about them. This happened in the last reading too, where I just always assume the person inquiring has a more feminine energy, and then reading for someone with a more masculine energy, or they're inquiring about someone. And it happened in the last reading too, that there was, I think a king, or it was an emperor, and then a queen card. So it's just interesting to me that it's the same vibe. I think that your person that you're interested in, they can be the Knight of Swords. That's a fun person. I mean, that is a fiery, passionate, hot mess at times, just hasty. I literally hot mess comes to mind. But if they're going to be the Empress on top of it, first of all, I think they're probably very, very attractive. I think they are someone who, um, I mean, they get what they want. They are probably very charismatic. They probably flirt a lot. I think they are, I don't know, I just think they're probably a catch in a lot of ways. I don't know if they're a catch in every way, but definitely a lot. And I think you up here, I think you go well together. You balance them out. You have energy to keep up with them. You've got the passion, the creativity, the action to, quite frankly, really work with them on their tendencies, maybe. And you have that gentle control. Maybe you really help them see, like, if they were to be a little chaotic or do something they regretted, you're there to really remind them, like, look, I'm not gonna sit through this. I'm not gonna be a part of this. I don't want any piece of this if this is what you're gonna do. And they don't. They want to be with you. They want your energy. They want you. And this I actually like, because this to me is a card that it's very sweet. And so I actually think that your person has a sweetness to them, actually. I think they have something about them that is maybe somewhat naive and youthful, but I think there is a genuine, almost like eagerness to please, like something childlike where they are. I just think you're more mature and you're more balanced, and they're a little more like heated, and they're the one. I don't know. I just think they get themselves into trouble, but not in a bad way. I don't think they're not out doing anything bad, and that's not what this reading is about. And it wouldn't go there. It's not going there anyway. But I'm just saying that this person, they're sweet. I think they have a simplicity to them, actually, that is very quite endearing. But beyond that of like just a charismatic charm, I think there's a sincere sweetness to them. So I guess that's what I'm getting at. And they know that you see this, and I think they probably don't show this to a lot of people. I think they show a lot of people just their charming side, but no, they have a real goodness to them. And I think you have a softness to you too. I see that in strength. You definitely have that. You're a powerhouse, but then you have a sweetness, and this balance is just, it's very nice. And yeah, I really like it. And yeah, so let's turn over another line and just get a little bit about your relationship. I like that. All upside down, but not tripping on that. Just gonna turn it over. Okay, so your relationship, the Emperor, the World, the Eight of Cups. Let's see. Let me think about this for a minute. I do think, again, I'm going to go back, that I think your relationship has there's an excitement to it. Or you guys are excited by it. I think you guys work very well and things happen. You're making things happen. I don't think it's a relationship where you're spending most of your time logging hours on Netflix. I think that you are, I don't know, I just see you guys like out in the world together. And I'm not saying that because of the World card. I'm just using that as an example. Like, I see you guys out with people doing things. I really do get the feeling that you are pretty dynamic, and that you're pushing each other. You're just pushing each other to accomplish things. In the sense that, like, if you guys have a conversation about something one of you wants to do or has always wanted to do, I think the other person would be like, well, yeah, let's do that. Let's work on that. Like, why don't you do that? That's a great idea. And just that encouragement that really leads to you guys actually getting things done. And I think this doing, and from the Emperor, which this is like a very, very strong card. And if we're not going to address it to one person or assign it to one person and we're going to say it's your relationship, I think that your relationship has a very, it's like being governed. It's being governed by something that it's not just one of you. I think you both have some input into this relationship, and together there's this very beautiful balance where you both bring almost like an even level of input, energy, ideas. There's a very, very unique balance here. And I guess I feel like this person here wouldn't be as balanced with other people. I think they would be, I just say hot mess, and I do. I think they would be silly. I think this beautiful quality with you, with other people would be, I think they would be immature. I think they would hurt a lot of people. I think they would do things that, quite frankly, would make them look like a stupid fuckboy. Whereas with you, they take on a whole different persona, and it really is them. You are helping them to mature, and they're helping you in ways I can't quite understand exactly how they're helping you, except to say that you're enjoying working with them. You're enjoying the process of being with them so much. And however they're helping you, and we know how you're kind of balancing them, it's working in this, I think they're helping you to get things done. Actually, I think they are helping to support you. I think they're so appreciative that you're kind of turning them, you're helping them see other ways of being, other ways of approaching a relationship. I think you're making them like the best version of themselves, and they see that. And as a result of that, they really want to support you. They want to be there for you. They want you to know, like, I'm into this, and I'm growing with you, and I think they're excited. And that level of excitement, that almost like childlike exuberance they have to be in a relationship, maybe they haven't really been in one quite like this before, and they're really into it, and into you. I just think that that's a driving force, and I love it, because I do think there's a very positive balance and a harmony, and I think you guys you get things done. You together, you push each other, and things are happening. Yeah, and if your relationship is the emperor, then absolutely things are happening. Yeah. And okay, let's take in the 8 of Cups. Let's think about this a little bit more. If I look at the 8 of Cups as a traditional card of kind of moving on and leaving things behind, I would say both of you you've changed a lot in this relationship. And I think that you've both matured in different ways quite a bit. And you've both probably left behind aspects of yourself that didn't serve you very well, definitely didn't serve a relationship, probably didn't lead to you being as successful as you can be, want to be, will be. And I just think that you've left behind kind of like you've shed these old personas or your outer shell, and you're just these newer, healthier, more dynamic people. And this relationship has really brought that out. And I think it's helped you see who you are and who you want to be. And I think in a way more than you've ever felt with anyone else. I don't know that another relationship has made either one of you feel so, given you guys so much clarity, quite frankly, like just this kind of like, aha, like, yes, this feels so right. Even if you guys haven't been together that long, it's just that feeling like, yes, this is definitely, we're just clicking. Things are working, and we are in sync. And even if I've experienced loss, you've experienced loss, even if something has happened that is sad and less than ideal, you maybe didn't think being with someone through that would have been the right move. In the past, maybe it would have just made you frustrated, more sad, angry, resentful, something along those lines. Whereas in this partnership, it's made you this person's actually really helped you with it, and probably helped you see things from different perspectives. I think this person really does help you see different perspectives. I almost feel like there was a sense of maybe you were a little more rigid than this person. I think they are very much a free spirit, whereas I don't think you are such a free spirit. I think you're doing things like you are. I think you have a great sense of adventure and you love doing things. You're a doer. If someone's going to ask you if you want to, if you're up for something, you're a yes person. But yeah. Okay. Let's get what, why did you pick clarity? What, oh my gosh, attracted you to that card? Like what energy and sense did you get? Why did you pick clarity? Okay. I think looking at this, and I'm just, again, it's kind of like a snapshot of your relationship and a little bit about who you are. I get a high priestess energy from you, whereas here I got the emperor vibe more for your whole relationship. There was just a functioning, you guys functioned as a very well-oiled machine in a way, which is weird considering I don't think you've been together that long. But here even though we're getting why do you pick clarity, I think this is you. I think you have almost like a sixth sense to you. There's something a little mystical about you. I don't know if you've talked to your partner about this. I don't know if maybe you're psychic, maybe your mom was psychic. Maybe you've always been drawn to that kind of third eye energy, but I do think that you have a layer that maybe you haven't even shown to your person, and I think they're gonna love it and dig it about you, but it's just like one more layer that you haven't quite revealed. And as far as clarity goes, I think it's like you want the confidence or the like almost like the validation to know that you can. I feel like there's a certain side of yourself that you want to show that you haven't shown yet. And I don't know that you think it won't be received well, because I don't think that's the vibe of your relationship at all, where things aren't received well. I think it's actually a big part of you that you've managed to not talk about. And I don't know why, I don't know what this has to do with clarity, but let me just look at this a little bit more. Give me a minute here. And then for the 9 of Wands, I think in the past, maybe, whatever the high priestess is, there's an element of, there's a secret. It's like you have a secret. There's something you haven't shared with your partner yet. And it might be something that you've done, accomplished, I think in the past, it's been met with resistance. I think that whatever this is, and I call it a secret, but I think it's like really a tidbit of information that you just haven't revealed about yourself. And I think in the past, like I said, if you've revealed it, maybe it hasn't been met with complete appreciation, or maybe it's caused problems. But I think you just wanted the clarity to know that, yes, this is a relationship where you can share whatever this is. And if I look at the 3 of Pentacles for insight as to what this is, I don't know what it is. It could be something you did that maybe something kind of like bad or naughty that you did that got you in a little bit of trouble. I don't know if you like stole something or you got in trouble for doing something along the lines of stealing or cheating. I don't know. And it might be nothing like that. So we can take this out of the equation if that's not the case for you. But I do think that there's something you have yet to share. with your person that, like I said, in the past has not been received very well. And I can say that if you want clarity, that you should do that. I believe the message here is that, yes, this is someone that would receive that message very well, and the two of you would just work with it. And I don't know if it's something that someone would dig about you, but this person would absolutely, they're your person and they get you. And even if it turns into a minor ordeal, it won't be one for long. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could be a night of discussion. It could be a night of tension. Why are you waiting so long to tell me this? Like, I can't believe you never told me this. Like, who are you? But it doesn't, it's something you absolutely resolve. The resistance won't be there, even though it looks like it has in the past for you. So yes, there's that clarity to say that you can be yourself. You can absolutely be yourself. And let's ask Spirit something she loves about your relationship. What does she love about your relationship? She wants you to know this is what's great about it. And we've got the Two of Swords, Four of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. I think Spirit really loves how you guys as a couple, how you navigate your hard times. And I say that because even though things seem to be very, very good with you guys, I do get the impression that you've still been through something, or you personally have been through something. I think this person can come with like an element that can be tricky or hard or challenging at times, but you guys navigate it so well. But as a couple, I do think that you work well together. You're not overreacting. You're not getting overly emotional. You're not that couple that's like, you're not giving each other ultimatums. You're not functioning the way that I think your other relationships have functioned. This person's relationship, I think in the past has probably been, relationships have been just tumultuous and ended probably not great. And I think they've always come up against some repetitive roadblocks and hurdles, even though they are a very good, loving person. And it seems like they love you and care about you very much. But I think what Spirit is saying she loves about your connection is that you treat each other, you take your time, you're patient, you don't jump to conclusions, you're not hasty, you're not accusing each other. And I think you have a great communication. If you have a question, you ask. If you have to make a decision, you think on it. I just think there's a lot of not only self-respect, but respect for each other. And and with this card, I almost get like in general, this can be a card of like apathy. But I think in this regard, I think to me, I'm getting a message that you aren't being hasty with your emotions or your words. You're striking a balance. And I don't think you guys really fight a whole lot. There's a passion here and there's an energy, but I don't think there's a lot of fighting. I just don't see that as your guys' like brand. It's not how you guys communicate and come together. I think you take a lot of action. You might be the couple that if you were stressed and other couples might resort to fighting, you guys might go on a run together, or you might walk the dog together, or sit down and have a meal out together. I just think there's more action that replaces actual arguments. And I think it's a great outlet for the energy that you guys have together. And I just think you're a dynamic couple. And if you came here because you want clarity, yes, I hope you get your clarity. I hope whatever you want to bring up or talk about or express, that you feel safe and comfortable doing that, and that it's received as well as I believe it will be. Okay, and then I've been asking Spirit from my Oracle deck for a good luck charm, as well as a word of advice, not really a word of warning. You could look at it that way, but it's not bad. But we'll ask her for a good luck charm and then like a little tip, a little hot tip. Okay. And we're going to take, for a good luck charm, fall in love with your own story, which, if this reading is accurate, you have a story to tell. You have a past, you have obviously a present and a future, but you absolutely have a past, and you have a story to tell. And I think that that's a part of you in this relationship and dynamic, especially, that you can just embrace and feel, whether it's good or confident or secure in whatever emotion you're able to sit with. I think that this is a reminder that, yeah, it's your story. You need to tell it, and you need to own that part of you and love every piece of you. And that's a good luck charm from Spirit. And her kind of like word of warning and is changes. And I am trying to think how that would be here. But I think it's because, like I said, it's not a word of warning. It's not even like a heads up. How would I see this? It's just this might happen, so don't freak out. I guess that's what it is. It might be her way of saying, like, look, things change. I don't think it's anything to do with your relationship. That's not the vibe I'm getting at all. I just think it's like just because things are amazing and they're just the way they are right now, if there's a little tweak here or there, or if someone goes a little bit more in one direction or you go in more, it's not a bad thing. That's your relationship. And maybe you guys are kind of going into a new phase together. I'm not sure. Maybe you're getting more serious, and you are, because you clearly want to confide in this person and tell them something. And maybe that will change things in a way. But it's not bad. So whatever change could take place or dynamic could shift, it's not a bad thing. It's just something to, I guess she's saying, don't freak out. Don't dread it. Just be you, be confident, be happy, and just, embrace your present and your past and your future. Okay. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I really enjoyed, telling this story, and, please come again. If you feel compelled at all to like or subscribe or anything along those lines, please do. Thank you very much. Bye. Hello, thank you so much for being here. This is the picture for chill, and the topic is what's special about your connection. So we've had some interesting readings. They've all been positive, even if they start off on a note that highlights things that are a little real. They all have very, very positive endings, and I think I've enjoyed them. So I am excited to read for you and see why you picked chill. I've been starting with this theme, and I'm going to stick with it through this whole reading. Okay, which is me saying, let's get a snapshot of you. Let me find out a little bit about you first, and that helps me. I like that. Okay. Really, wow, that's interesting. I've never had that come up before to describe someone. So, Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, Page of Cups. I mean, this could be like a jack of all trades, master of none. This could be someone who cannot make a decision, dabbling in a ton of things, has their hands, so much going on. I mean, this to me is someone who is really trying to find themselves. Who is, I wouldn't say you're lost by any means. I would just say you are really trying to figure it out. And you could either be very stressed about this, or you could be super chill about this. I'm not sure. But with the two knights and the page, I think that you are someone, you don't take yourself too seriously. You are probably very easygoing, lighthearted. I don't know if you're this way because maybe you just left like a job or school that was so intense and you can't deal with any level of intensity right now, and you're just sampling a bunch of things, or if this is just who you are. It doesn't mean that you're not very bright. In fact, you probably are very bright, and you're like, I can't I like it gets overwhelming to be so focused on one thing that you're like, I'm just going to spread myself thin and enjoy life. I'm just going to speak a little bit of 3 different languages. I'm going to almost finish my degree or master's. I'm going to like, I don't know. I kind of get the vibe with you. I like it though. I think you are very dynamic. I don't know. I don't think this really bothers you. So, okay, let's see. I'm assuming you're in a relationship. I'm assuming you do have a special connection. So let's get a picture of the person you're asking about, or your person. Let's see who they are. Well, they're like just this beautiful little unicorn of a human, it would appear. They're chill. They're kind. They're good. They're probably quite spiritual in their own way, whatever that means, whether they are, I don't know, coming into their own sense of spirituality, like maybe they're discovering anything from tarot to Buddhism to another secular religion, I'm not sure. But there's something about them they're really trying actively to do the right thing, be a good person, live by a certain moral standard. And I think they're doing a good job of it. If they're the Queen of Wands, that's just a feminine energy. It doesn't mean that they're female, but it's a strong, confident, actionable person. There's a sense of like vibrancy there. There's someone who I think very much knows what they want, whereas you hold the Knight energy and the Page energy, which is even younger. The Queen is definitely a step up. It's someone who is, when it comes to making a decision, is probably going to be the one making the decision, whereas you probably have a hard time making decisions because you could be happy with all 3 options, whereas the Queen of Wands is like, no, I know a little bit more about what I want. However, to see them with the Fool card is funny because this person here, if I don't incorporate the Fool, they're like, I wouldn't say they're no nonsense, but they're somewhat no nonsense. They aren't silly. They're exciting and they're vibrant, but they aren't like willy-nilly. But then you bring the Fool into the mix and they're just those experimental, fun-loving. Maybe in the past they've had a little bit of an ego. Maybe they've been careless, selfish, egotistical at times, narcissistic without being, textbook. Which is why when I see the star, I think like, okay, they're just working on themselves. However that is, in whatever way, I think they're guiding themselves spiritually, and that's a I don't know if it's fun, but it's a positive thing. And I do think that's a fun journey. And I think you probably could use a little bit of all this energy. But I think you also embody a little bit of all this energy too, because I wouldn't say you're a chameleon, but you are definitely, I just think you can be equal parts like aggravated and blissed out by a number of things. I just don't think it's hard to please you, and it's probably not hard to make you like be over something either. And I don't mind that, because again, I don't think you're not smart. I don't think you're not dedicated. I think you're someone that when you apply yourself, you are all in, which means there just isn't something that you feel the need to really go all in for right now. I don't think you've always been this way, although maybe you have. But when there's something you need to like attack, you'll get after it. And then one of these will change to, at least this will upgrade to a Knight. But then 3 nights is crazy. We don't want 3 nights. That's a nightmare. But yeah, you're fun. You're definitely easygoing. You are definitely chill. And this person is pretty chill too. I feel like you guys, you're like the couple that could smoke weed and talk for hours. Or I don't know, maybe you guys have some fun with like other substances together and just like go off on one. Like, I don't know. I see you guys really having a very fun, chill time together. And that would be chill. Like this is definitely This is your guys' vibe and your brand, and it works. I don't know if it can work forever in quite this capacity, but it definitely works. Let's get a little bit about your relationship. Relationship snapshot. Okay. I always have to say it out loud. It's for me, not you. It's for you if you want to listen to that part. Okay, that doesn't help anything. So we've got the Six of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, which I love, Ten of Pentacles, love. This is like just a regal abundance, beautiful luminosity, just this. I just think of regal. I think of someone who is like classy, just pure class, very stately. Yeah. And then with the Ten of Pentacles, this is like hard work paying off 110%. I can get family out of this. I can get a real sense of like being grounded and balanced and commitment. So you're not going to have this being this or this for that matter, which is funny. This makes me think one of you, and quite possibly you might have an inheritance. You might come from a little bit of wealth, which might be the reason why you are this way up here. Not a bad thing. This isn't a judgment or an insult or calling you out at all, but maybe you've always had the luxury of experimenting, trying new things. You've never really had to, be one thing and do it until it almost kills you. But I do think that one of you guys in the relationship might come from money or might have a decent amount of it, and relatively speaking, always, but enough that you take care of yourself. You can afford to take care of yourself. You look like you take care of yourself, and you're respectable. You're classy. You know how to behave, and you do actually behave quite well. And I like the Six of Swords is to me. I can get like an emotional baggage from this card. I can get leaving things behind. But if this is your relationship, I think you guys, I don't think you're hurting for money. Between the two of you, if one of you is doing most of the supporting, and both of you come from pretty cushy backgrounds or have made your own, I'm not at all implying you haven't made your own money. I'm sorry. It seems like up until 1 second ago that I was implying that. Either way, there's a sense of plenty of income, and I think you guys, you like the idea of having a family and being a family unit, whatever that means. It can be you and pets, it could be you and kids, but this appeals to you. Marriage, home life, buying a home, decorating a home, this all appeals to you. And I think it's something that you actually like talk about and kind of get off on. And I get that. And as far as this card pertaining to your relationship, I do think there's something I get the impression that the two of you came from similar backgrounds for whatever reason, whatever those backgrounds are. I don't know why, but this is so I hate to say things that are so specific because it can't resonate. I mean, it's not like I have 1 million viewers right now, but even if I had 7, it can't resonate with all 7. But from a very specific place, I feel like both of you came from pretty cushy upbringings. And again, I have to say this is relative. This doesn't mean your families are millionaires. It could mean that you just were both very comfortable middle class and, your parents, I don't know, just really supported you, took care of you, maybe indulged you guys. I'm not sure, but I think you came from very similar upbringings. But I think in your relationship now, something about the way you guys were raised, whether your parents were both very religious or they both had like a ideal that maybe neither one of you adhered to. And I think there's something from your upbringing that you guys are together agreeing upon, like you don't want to bring it into your future. And I could almost say, if I look at this differently, that maybe something to do with the money or the wealth or a sense of not spoiled, but like maybe things aren't given to you guys as a couple that doesn't feel right. Maybe if you take these things, it comes with like a stipulation or more expectations. But I feel like you're almost ready to not accept something that has to do with what your family's offering. And it could be that maybe both of you guys you come from, a heavy religious family, or a family that's heavy into a certain aspect of something, and you both are like, I just want to move past that. I don't want to incorporate that into my future, into my family's future, into your future as a couple. But I do think there's something you're wanting as a couple to leave behind, and you get this piece. There's something about both of you that is very much, you guys are cut from the same cloth. Let's put it that way. And I like that. And I love that you picked chill, because it is that vibe to me. There is something very laid back about you guys. I don't think that you guys argue a lot. I don't think there's this like tension between you guys. I mean, I think you guys have, I'm sure you're fine in the passion department, but I'm just getting that more than anything, you guys just get along. You guys just work, and whatever that definition of work is for you guys, is an enjoyment, and chill. It just works. It just works. Okay, what does Spirit love about your guys' relationship? I like this question. What does she love about your guys' relationship? Well, we're getting a lot of the page cards here. If this is your relationship, I'm going to say she loves that from the outside, it looks like you guys are not taking things seriously, or not maybe discussing a future or investing in your future. But in fact, I think you guys really are. And this backs this up for me. And what I mean by it looks like you aren't investing in your future is maybe it looks like you're not building something of your own, but you guys are. You really are. You are both taking actually a quite stringent, structured approach to your relationship. I think you guys are, even if you're super chill, you're not letting the world pass you guys by. This isn't a relationship that you are, in fact, I think you're treating this relationship different than your personal lives in a lot of ways. I think that you guys individually, as individuals, are quite laid back and open. But in your relationship, I think you're really, not saying you're not laid back and open, because you have a very chill vibe, but you're approaching it like, when I say like a business, is you're actively working on your relationship. I think you guys have great conversations. Even, like I said, if this is something you guys like, smoke weed and talk for hours, like that leads to a ton of clarity, a ton of talking about what you want, and probably action from you guys to do that. But yeah, I think your relationship is completely structured, much more structured than anyone would think. I think you have like a plan of attack for your relationship, what you want and don't want out of it. And I think you have a very, very clear picture of that. And I think you guys have great communication. You are communicating this. And I think that Spirit really, really likes this, because you, for whatever reason, you're a couple that I don't know that anyone would ever imagine that you would be as serious as you are. And when I say serious, I mean committed. Like you guys are, I think you guys are both very emotionally and physically committed to one another. There's a level of just devotion here that I really enjoy. And I do like this last line where I think there's something there's a uniqueness that you guys share, like a commonality that you wouldn't share with just anyone. I mean, you guys can both be Amish, and it could be something like that, or Mormon, but there's something where you guys come from similar backgrounds, or very, very similar backgrounds. And you're approaching your relationship as a like, we want to cut that aspect out of it. Sure, we can incorporate the other one, but there are definitely things that you want to do for yourself and make it your own, and maybe not repeat mistakes that your parents or siblings made. You want to do it on your own. And even though that sounds very intense, you guys are chill. You're just, I don't know. I like you guys. You're very, very laid back. And I just think you guys are good energy. And I even really like what Spirit likes about you guys, because I think it's basically saying you look one way, but you function and act quite differently as a couple. And that's cool. Let's get, I'm going to ask you, what do you love about your relationship? I'm going to ask what do you love and what does your partner love? We're going to do two cards here because this is fun. So 7 of Pentacles. I think you love that this relationship is actually, it's pushing you to kind of invest in it, to kind of, I think, take strides, put the work in where maybe you don't see yourself doing this in other aspects of your life, but yet you're doing it in your relationship. Like, you're almost taking your relationship more seriously than any other thing in your life. And you know what? Like, that's okay. It's not going to be forever. But right now, I think it really works for you. I think it's something you need. And I believe that this will lead to different layers and levels of motivation and clarity for what it is you want to do and what direction you want to go. But I think you're really enjoying right now that this relationship is it's a very useful and pleasurable investment of your time and energy. And I think that's very cool. And I've been in relationships like this where I'm like, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. This is someone I'm supposed to be with. It's just that feeling where it feels right. And it does actually give you that chill vibe when you're in that feeling. There is something very, like, you don't have to stress it. You don't have to overthink it. You can talk about it and enjoy that, but you're actually enjoying the investment is what I'm saying. It's not that this isn't a taxing element of your relationship. You're really enjoying it. And what your partner loves about this relationship is the 4 of Swords. And I think this is a relationship that's allowing him to actually kind of like rest. Like, his mind isn't spinning. It's not causing him stress. It is not causing him anxiety. I think that this is a situation where he probably can focus on other things as well. Like, if there are other parts of his life that he wants to explore, or other parts of his life that are still kind of like need to be developed, that he can do him and really be in a very good place in this relationship. And I almost like this relationship offers an element of like respite that is much needed. And a lot of the times, you know what, relationships don't offer that. They offer struggle and strife and headache and tension and all sorts of things. But there are plenty of great relationships, and yours is definitely one of them. And I love that you picked chill, because it is, I think, a great way to describe your guys' vibe. It's your vibe, quite frankly. We're going to ask Spirit for, I did this for the other ones and I really enjoyed it, for a, oh my gosh, a good luck charm and a, like, not a word of warning, but just just a like, hey, this is something, don't let this stress you out. I guess that's it. Like, if this comes up, don't trip. This might come up, that kind of thing, but it's not bad. So let's get a gentle, we're going to, oh my gosh, Spirit is going to give you a good luck charm and a gentle warning. Gentle warning, not even a warning. Okay, both upside down, fine. Good luck charm. Bliss is worth creating from. And I think what this means is that you guys can really you're building something of your own here. You're kind of forging your own path. You're not adhering to anyone else's values or stringent confines. You're doing your own thing. And I think that you are creating your own thing. And I think it is truly blissful. I think you guys are blissed out right now. I really do. I think you're chill. I think you're resting. I think you're happy. I think you're doing something different and you're enjoying the hell out of it. So yeah, I think that is definitely your good luck charm. Like, keep on that. Keep enjoying this, just keep it active, keep creating, keep thinking about where you want to go and how you want this to look and feel, and stay on that, because it is quite frankly like creating, bliss within your guys. And that's great. And then the warning is not warning, we already went through this. Magic happens when you most expect it. So I think this is, it does seem like you guys are planning though. To me, this would be like a, hey, like start planning, start manifesting, start doing something. But I think this is maybe a warning, like keep on this. And these are two very, very similar messages. So maybe you were going to like taper back or take a step back, or maybe you weren't going to do something until you could discuss it with whomever. But I think this is just Spirit saying like this magic, this 10 of Pentacles, which is family, home, love, life, togetherness, every culmination of just this great warm thing you've built together, living, breathing thing, that keep working on your goals, keep ticking away, and be with intent, be intentional about it. Yeah, and maybe that's like being chill is great, but at some point you might have to up it a little bit. But I just stay intentional with it, key in, and stay with your vibe. And that would be very much an Emperor. Very much an Emperor. They're the ones that, they're going to move and shake and make things happen. And I love that. So I enjoyed this reading, and please let me know if any of this tracked. And you can even let me know if you're like, I did not associate with one word of this. This was not the reading for me. I mean, if you tell me gently, that's okay. Like I'm open to any constructive criticism at this point. But I really do hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to hear from you, and just thank you very much. Thank you for your... Okay, this is me saying thank you. In the past, my thank yous were, I don't know, they went over a minute, which is ridiculous. No one's going to sit through the end of that. But it is just a thank you. And if you are at all inspired or moved to comment, that is just the most exciting thing to me. Of course, you can subscribe if you want to know when I'm doing new videos. I'm actually going to be doing one a day for at least a month. So yeah, I mean, stay tuned if you have any interest, and please share any thoughts. But thank you for being here. Can't thank you enough. Okay. Have a great night or a great day. Bye.